So once again, I start this video actually in the middle of the job, of the process. Didn't think of making one beforehand. What happens is I have a Honda FRV 2-liter petrol 2007 model. The gear selector cable broke actually a while ago. What happens was this sleeving here pulled out, and that made the cable couldn't push anymore as well as it did. There was a temporary fix with cable ties involved, which I didn't like much, but it lasted a while, and then finally it came out completely, and due to the sleeving not being there, the cable inside this got worn out and 3 of the 6 strands broke. So I looked around for a new cable, went to Honda themselves. This cable assembly costs 6,500 rand. That is a lot of money. $420 about to buy a new one. Tried to import one from Japan. It was basically the same price. It wasn't worth it to import it. So I took it to cable repair people. They charged me 400 rand, about $30 to fix it. They put a new cable in all the way, and they fix the sleeving. Hopefully it will last. So the rest of the video is going to be outside. I can't get my car in the shop, in my shop. So I am going to go outside and try to explain what I did to get the cable out, and then how to get the cable back in. Shop, check it outside. Okay, you want to start by removing the air filter completely. There's on the side. So you open the air filter up, take it out, and then the bottom holder of the air filter, take that out as well. Then it's quite easy to get into where the linkages are. These are the linkages for the gearbox. Now this is the one that broke. This one moves forward and backwards. This link here is when you put the gear lever from left to right, from where you go 1 2 3, 1 2, and then the middle 3 4, and the side 5 6. This one moves it from left to right. That was still working fine. There's 3 bolts that keeps the whole assembly together. These linkages uses these flat washers. There's a plastic one on top and a metal one at the bottom, and the split pins. Here's the other one. The other one is also in here. And here are the 3 bolts to keep the whole linkage assembly on. So while you're in the front, you take out the split pins and then remove the 3 bolts, and then that whole contraption is loose. Then your next step will be on the inside. Let's go there. Okay, now we're inside. Basically, it is only necessary to remove this panel, the one right below the radio, with the controls for the climate control. There's 2 bolts, 1, 2 for the gear lever. These little blue knobbins is where the other side of the cable comes on. This is 1 and this is 2. The only way it fastens to these is with a little metal spring that goes over and holds it in place. From here it goes down underneath. You will be able to see the cables running down here, and I think if you can see, can you see a gap? There's a gap where the cable goes through the firewall or the floor. I'm going to show you when I'm underneath and I put the new cables in while we're going to do that. Okay, here we are underneath the car. This is the exhaust. There's the gap. Let's see if I can put the light on. Okay, I had to loosen this cover here to get easy access. There's another bracket point on here, and then the cables just run through here to the front of the gearbox. So I'm going to start with this bracket. I'm going to put the cables through here and then start with this bracket. Keep you updated. Okay, so my wife pulls from the top, I push from the bottom. Here's the one link and here's the other link. You will see the light is on. Let's go in here. You see this round piece here? This fits in over there, and there's another one on this side for the top one. I found it easier to work from the bottom, although the fittings that go in them, it's got something that looks like it could turn, but I was afraid I'm going to break them off. So I went in the bottom, and there's a big rubber here. Let's check. Where is it now? There it is. This big rubber here. I used a water pump tongue to turn that to fit in there, and then the other side the same. So here it goes underneath into the floor, and that is almost tightened. I'll show you now at the bottom. Okay, there are the brackets in place. If I remember correctly, that was number 10 spanners. Let me just check. Yeah, that's a 10mm spanner. Make it the same. This bracket fits. There's the two holes. Wait, there's the two holes. This bracket fits in here, and the cable runs up to the top. This is probably going to need somebody to help you push it through, pull it through. Okay, so I'm going to tighten those two brackets, and then those ones. Then I think I'll first do the connection inside the motor, inside the bonnet. It's going to be easier. So once this bracket is secured, there's a sensor on the exhaust that plugs in there. I had to remove it for fear of it getting damaged when I took out the cable. So you just plug this one in there again, and when you're done, just got to tighten those ones, and then you got to tighten this metal bar here. I think it was about 4 or 5 nuts. Yeah, there's one more, 3 in the front or something like that, 4 or 5. Okay, then I'll check you on the inside. Okay, everything underneath the car is done. So now we just gotta these bolts, line them up with these holes. This hole here is for this tie down bracket, and then there was another, oh, it's the same cable, there's another one on this side somewhere, yeah, on the side there. And then this pluggy, can't remember where it plugged in. I'll figure it out and then show you when I'm done. Okay, I'm gonna fasten this one, and then I'm gonna fasten these ones on the linkages. Once the cable was fastened, you could easily see the plug comes in here. There you go. So now these linkages just hook up on this side, on this one, and this one comes back in there. And then what we basically do, the metal one comes on first,
Then the plastic one comes over that. And then I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this with one hand, but the split pin pushes in there. No, I don't think I'm going to be able to. I'm going to need both hands for that. Ah, there it goes. Split pins go in there, and you've got to make sure it's in there tightly. There you go. And then you split the pins, and they were split completely over to the side. And this one the same way, all around, so there's no chance of them getting out. This is a struggle with one hand. Push them down so they don't catch anything. There you go. That's one. The other one is exactly the same. And when we're done with this, we are done in the bonnet, except for the air filter, obviously. So when I've put this one on, then I'm going to go inside the car and see to make the connection there. So in conclusion, I'm done. What you're going to need to do this job, you're going to need to have a socket set, definitely, for the bottom of the car, and also for taking out the air filter, and removing the bracket, the front of the cables. Screwdrivers you're going to need for inside, on the dashboard, to remove the dashboard and to put it back together. Number 10 spanner, using to loosen and tighten the bracket of the cables where the cables go through the floor. And then I use the water pump pliers for the cable just where it gets onto the gear lever. There's those thick, I showed you those thick square rubber thingies that go into that holder, that bracket. I use the long nose to remove some of the clamps on the air filter, and then torch, because you can't always see everything. And that's it. Thanks for watching.